What's going on, y'all? BBQ Dropout here. If you want the written version, head on over to bbqdropout.com. So if you're wondering how long you should try to guesstimate or expect to smoke or cook any kind of 15-pound brisket, just know that you have to consider two things. One, the temperature at which you're smoking the brisket at or cooking it at, and then number two, how much the brisket weighs, which in this case would be about 15 pounds. And so let's back up a little bit. So when you consider like the ambient temperature, there's two main things to consider within that parameter. So either it's like a low and slow cook or a hot and fast. Hot and fast takes generally about half as long to cook a brisket through than a low and slow cook. Low and slow cooks, honestly, dude, they just take so much time. I don't really think it's worth it personally. The results are no better, no different than a hot and fast cook. But let's say you want to still go for a low and slow cook, then you can try to cook that thing at about 225 to like 250. That's generally like a low and slow type of cook. And so it'll take about 1 pound per hour of cook time, 15-pound brisket, 15 hours. Now let's say you're a little bit impatient like me. Well, maybe you want to cut that in half, so you just go to hot and fast time. So that would probably be about like 275 degrees and above. I personally try to do like 300 degrees and above, but if you don't really want to try risking like burning the brisket or anything like that, or use too much fuel, then you could certainly do like a 275, like 300 degree type of cook. And that's, in my opinion, still kind of like a hot and fast style of smoking a brisket. So at 15 pounds, 275 degrees and above should take you about what's 15 divided by 2, like 7.5, 8 hours, give or take. That's for the cook time. Now, the other part of that is actually prepping the smoker. So you actually want to like season it, put all the wood in it, all that stuff, and also let the temperature come up. And then you also want to season your brisket. And then once the brisket's actually done, once it's gone through that entire cooking process we just laid out, then you want to rest the thing. So overall, like, to cook any kind of brisket, it's going to take quite a while, which is why I personally would try to get the cooking portion over as quick as possible so you can start focusing on resting the brisket and all that stuff. So to kind of recap, 15-pound brisket, low and slow, smoked at around 225 to 250. Should take about 15 hours to cook or smoke, plus another hour to prep the smoker, so it'll be about 16 hours. And then you also want to try and, especially if it's a 15-pound brisket, you want to try and rest that thing for like at least 3 to 4 hours. So you're adding another like 3 to 4 hours to 16 hours. So basically, like, the entire process is taking almost 24 hours. And so if you cut that in half for a hot and fast cook, that same 24-hour timeline, 24-hour timeline, would only be about like 10 to 12 hours. And that includes prepping the smoker, getting it ready, letting it heat up, cook the brisket, and then resting the brisket. All that takes half as long as it would for a long slow cook. So you should probably budget like 10 to 12 hours. So yeah. Anyways, catch y'all on the next one, guys.